I just need to get back to my room.
Of course, my dear. Go ahead. You saw it, didn't you?
Pardon me?
I segni della bestia.
The sign of the beast.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to The Council. I'm your host, the Birdman known as Falcon. I wanted to do a follow-up video on this one because honestly, the first one was very intriguing, and honestly, I think we gotta see who's inside of the manor, do we not? Now, before we continue, I went to this little side path over here because I have an option to either look for more clues or go to the manor itself. I went on the side path. Unfortunately, this over here is locked. There's an option for me to use the bar that we found, but we can't really pry it open that way. But there's also this over here.
A wooden floorboard. Probably comes from this part of the wharf. The wood is slightly eaten away, of course, but it still would have been fine if it weren't smashed.
Huh. Well, we can't do that one because Vigilance is locked, so that's all we can do here. I really like how there's different, ways you could play depending on what options you've unlocked.
Hey, there's something not right about this floorboard. It's different from the rest.
Well, can't you see what's in there? I can see it myself right now. Rip up the floorboard. Requires agility at 3, which we don't have. How about we use the rusty iron bar?
That does it. Let's see what's hidden inside. There's a book and also a bag. The Mysterium Cosmographicum. I know that book well. Mother used to read passages from it to me all the time. And judging from what I can see, it's the same one as hers. For crying out loud, what's happened to you, Mother?
Manuscripts allow you to educate yourself during the adventure. At the start of each quest, you can choose what to read and gain permanent skill points.
Let's look inside the bag. A little food, a few toiletries, a small key, and some kind of black powder.
Could we use that key to get into that gate? I mean, take the entire thing, but let's examine one at a time, I guess.
Some fruit, a piece of bacon, and some bread. The fruit's still firm. The bread's a bit stale. From the smell, this food's been here roughly 2 days, and if it's rationed, there's enough left to last 2 more days. An iron key completely rusted. You never know. It might be useful. I hope Mother wasn't counting on it.
Oh. Well, let's hope that she wasn't counting on it after all. So should we leave the bag in case it is hers? Yeah. You know what? I'll examine the powder. I'll take the key, but I'll leave in the bag in case she needs food to survive.
The bottom of the bag is covered in black powder. Shit. Those are definitely my mother's things. I recognize her hairpins. And this bag smells of her perfume. A piece of soap, some oils, and her powder puff. But what does all this mean? Right, that's enough. I think I better leave her bag here. If she hid all this, it's because she thought she might need it later. For crying out loud. Why did you hide supplies in the middle of nowhere, Mother? I don't know what's going on here, but you obviously feel like you're in danger.
Well, I guess it was a good idea to leave the bag behind. So can we use the key here?
There we are.
Alright, we'll get into that manor pretty soon, but I'm trying to get more clues before we go in there. I figured the more clues we have, probably the better for us. I gotta read that book too. So the only search spot is in there. Oh, we got a couple more. Amber fragments. You found an amber fragment. Each time you pick up 4 of them, you increase your maximum effort points by 1.
Amber crystals. This wharf is used as storage for a lot of barrels. Uh-huh. What have we here? It's cannon powder.
Science is locked, so we can't do much over here.
It's unusable now. I don't know what the person who left this barrel like this had in mind, but it's a waste. This looks like a pistol case, but it's empty. I don't know if this has anything to do with you, Mother, but if it does, at least now you're armed. Just like in my vision. And none of it's telling me anything useful. So, let's go through this. My mother's been hiding pieces of bread between the rotten boards of a wharf in the middle of the night. That's not normal. And if that weren't enough, looks now like she's armed. Meanwhile, she also takes the time to send out letters, reassuring whoever might be interested that she's having a fabulous time here. So odd. So very odd. And that's not even all I've noticed. But maybe I ought to move on to the manor now. They'll be waiting for me. At least I hope so.
Latin inscription. En nessis, mi fili quantilia produncia mundus vergatur. You don't know, my son, how little wisdom the world is governed with. I tend to agree.
So, conviction is an immunity for Mortimer. Well, let's go inside finally.
How did Mortimer manage to build his manor at the top of a rocky outcrop? Impressive.
Ah, my son. I was looking for you.
What can I do for you, Your Eminence?
I wanted to ask you. You are the son of Louis de Richet, aren't you? You see, your mother and I were supposed to meet here on this very spot. I was supposed to hand her a very important envelope. But I haven't seen her.
If only Mother had told me why she was coming here. Anyway, I ought to take the envelope. It might have something to do with her disappearance.
Listen, if it will help, you can always give it to me.
Okay. So this is new. Can I also mention, is it just me or does this guy sound like Dracula? During a confrontation, you have to go through several steps while being as persuasive as possible. Confrontations have consequences on the rest of the story, so don't hesitate to use your skills. Each confrontation displays an interface showing how much the person you are talking to is convinced, and we have apparently 3 mistakes we can make for this one. So hopefully this goes well.
Thank you, my son. I'll bear that in mind. I'd rather deal with her directly. Don't take it personally. Would you happen to know if your mother has arrived yet?
Okay. Yes, she's been here for several weeks now. Never mind, give me your letter. Just straight up like that. Let's go with the first one.
Certainly, Your Eminence. Mother got here some time ago. I was hoping to find her when I arrived, but given the hour, she must be asleep by now.
Right. I shall see her tomorrow, then.
By the way, Your Eminence, I wasn't aware you knew my mother.
Ah, if you only knew, my son. I hold your mother in the highest regard. She has rendered great service to the church, and her help is invaluable. I hope that you will follow in her footsteps.
Only she had told me where she was headed.
Nonetheless, our exchanges have always been discreet, and I should like them to remain as such. If your mother wishes to speak to you about us one day, I will not mind if she does so.
That is commendable. But as we work together on a daily basis, it is surely just an oversight.
Most certainly. You said you work together. What do you do exactly?
Alright. We are members of the Golden Order. We should probably not mention that. Professional secret, sorry. This would require 2 of my effort points, but I don't think I want to give the fact that we're the Golden Order. And we could always use the royal jellies to clear this up, right?
Mother passed her passion for art to me, ancient art.
Very ancient.
I didn't know your mother was an art lover.
Mainly pre-Christian objects which are believed to have unique properties.
Well, how interesting. Now that you mention it, I can indeed imagine Sarah getting interested in that.
All the same, it bothers me to see you in a quandary, Your Eminence. Is there any other solution? Look, if it's of any help, you can always leave your envelope with me and I'll give it to her as soon as I see her.
I hesitate. Up till now, we have always dealt with her in person, and that has always been successful. Do you think I should give it to you?
Oh, you better give it to me. Questioning locked. Manipulation locked. You can count on me? I guess we'll go with that one.
Don't worry, Your Eminence. Your secret is safe with me. You know my mother's reputation. As her son, I will defend the de Richet's word with the same fervor.
I would expect nothing less.
Got it.
Listen to me, my child. If I give you the letter, can you promise me before God that no one other than your mother will read it?
What about me? I'll probably read it. Last step. For the last step of confrontation, you must convince the person you are talking to by giving a positive answer. Promise? Okay, no worries. No, thank you, no. I don't believe in his God. Oh. I don't want to use up the last few points that I have. I'll go with okay, no worries, perhaps.
I swear by the Almighty God to honor the promise that no one but my mother shall cast her gaze upon your letter.
Good. Listen, let's stop there. I'm going to tell you a secret, Monsieur de Richet. Your mother and I are organizing the escape of a large number of French priests who face a massacre organized by the accursed Republican tribunals. The church is literally being bled like a beast. Without your mother, hundreds of men of the cloth would have gone to the guillotine. She has made the services of your order available to us by organizing the priests' safe passage across the borders. Even if she does not share all our convictions, she always provided assistance. Young man, you can be proud to be her son. Be it only for her sake. Always respect your name. Here, the letter I spoke of. It includes a list of about 15 names ready for departure. Be quick. Remember to tell Sarah when you see her that time is short.
Well played. I'll decide later when I'm alone whether to look at what it contains.
Oh, and we will. We absolutely will. Hidden elements. Many clues and items are hidden. Some of them will have an impact in your adventure, so do not hesitate to look for them. I'm glad we kind of saved those extra 2 points too, just in case we need it for something else. So, let's see about really quickly, perhaps these royal jellies we've been. Restore 2 effort points. Let me hook this up if we can here. Get it up to 4, in case we gotta, like, do some sort of crafty speech thing. That could hook us up. And there's a book over there for us to check out, and let's see. We haven't seen Lord Mortimer, or whatever the hell his name is, just yet. So I guess we'll move over towards here.
Lives of the Noble Greeks and Romans by Plutarch, a biography of the great men.
Flip through it. That's locked, so I guess we'll just take the book for now. Don't mind me, just taking your books. The Parallel Lives. Alright. Let's see who we got here. Is that...
I thought my chimney was big, but this one is beyond belief.
It's the least one can say. I've been longing for a warm fire for ages.
Since I set foot on the island, I haven't ventured more than 2 yards away from it.
Have you also just arrived?
Oh, late morning, I'd say.
Louis, come join us. Monsieur, may I introduce you to Monseigneur His Eminence, Cardinal Piaggi. He joins us straight from Rome.
Oh, just call me Your Eminence. It's simpler.
George Washington, President of the United States of America.
Delighted at last to make your acquaintance, Mr. President.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. President. Louis de Richet. It is an honor to meet you.
Young man, let's keep it simple, please. Let us forget our fancy titles. Nice to meet you, Louis.
I should imagine you never thought you'd be in such company.
I must admit that I didn't. It's the first time that I've ever met so many illustrious personalities.
And you haven't seen anything yet. Generally, when Lord Mortimer organizes one of his receptions, there are over a dozen people here.
They can't all be here yet, and you'll see, most of the time there's only the upper crust.
And I noticed you were already getting to know His Eminence at the entrance. It's the perfect place to build up a network. What were you talking about, if you forgive my indiscretion?
I don't think that's any of your concern, George Washington, President of the U.S. My mother about a letter about the surprising main door.
Believe me, she's not that special. His Eminence was asking me for my opinion about the style of the main door. I have to admit, this place certainly doesn't lack panache.
It's simply stupefying.
Oh, pity. No scrumptious gossip or juicy tidbits, unmentionable secrets, or even money matters. But you'll see, it will come. Despite all the goodwill in the world, you can't stop people scheming left and right around here.
Speak for yourself, sir.
Well, my friends, do any of you know the reason why we're here this time?
Not in the slightest. As for me, I've been invited by Sir Holm, a close friend of Lord Mortimer, but I do not know the reason why.
You see, Louis, every time Lord Mortimer organizes a reception, he always finds a moment to set up a chat with all the guests.
During which time we remake the world.
Accompanied by gallons of absinthe and cussing. I'll leave you to imagine the result.
So, if I understand rightly, Monsieur de Richet, you've come out here to join your mother. For what reason, exactly?
Can George Washington be any more nosy? She's gone missing to invent something. Should we be honest with this guy? Invent something.
Like you, Mr. President, I'm here as a result of Lord Mortimer's invitation.
2 members of the same family here. That is rare.
You know what they say. You can pick your nose, but you can't pick your family.
Seriously, though, I know your mother well. Stay behind with me afterwards, and we'll take a moment to speak about her.
Yo? The hell is that?
Good Lord! Washington is wearing the emblem of the Grand Master of the Golden Order. It's the highest distinction of the order in the United States. It puts him on par with my mother. He must really know his stuff when it comes to the occult.
Good evening, my friends.
Holy shit. That's the man for my vision.
An urgent case has delayed our host, Lord Mortimer. He can't be present this evening, and he sends his deepest apologies.
He's asked me here and he hasn't even turned up? Great start. Do you know that man?
Sir Gregory Holm, an English aristocrat, very influential. He's also close to Lord Mortimer, so don't be surprised if he acts like he's at home.
And now, my dear guests, a light meal is served in the small salon. For those who would like to, you're invited to follow me into the next room.
My dear fellow, you must have read my thoughts. I shall follow.
We'll have to be careful not to make too much noise. One of Lord Mortimer's guests is relaxing.
Oh, we shall be quiet.
Don't take it the wrong way, Sir Holm, but I've already eaten. Thus, I shall be happy to remain by the fireside.
If you don't mind, Gregory, I should like to keep Mr. Washington company.
Please feel at home. And you, sir?
If I stay with Washington, we'll be able to speak about my mother. But on the other hand, I'd like to learn more about this Holm. I saw him in my vision.
I mean, he's part apparently of the Order, so that's good, but this guy wasn't a vision.
My vision is more important. Let's follow Holm.
I'll follow you, sir. Mr. Washington, I hope to speak with you at greater length on another occasion. Emily, please excuse me, but I would like to speak to Sir Holm. I shall see you later.
My friend, I hope our dear Giovanni is well.
The troubles in France have fatigued him, but he will recover slowly. Do not fear. He apologizes for remaining in Rome. The voyage was too much for him.
And right he was too. The mildness of the Mediterranean, eh? Come, sit down and have something to eat, my friend. You look rather pale. Excuse me, sir. I have been neglecting my duty. I haven't introduced myself. Sir Gregory Holm, an old friend of Lord Mortimer's.
A real pleasure, sir.
You who must be well used to the court of France. How do you find this peaceful little haven?
Charming if I hadn't come here for disturbing reasons.
Yes, I heard the news. What a story.
Indeed. I wanted to ask you.
I really hate QuickTime events. Just throwing it out there right now. What is the story exactly? Does he know my mother?
Would you have any information about the disappearance of my mother?
Very little, I'm afraid, my young friend. Your mother came at the invitation of Lord Mortimer. Then, one fine day, we couldn't find her anywhere.
That's it?
As I said, I don't know very much. Lord Mortimer had the entire area searched immediately. We found no clue as to her disappearance. But I am convinced that as soon as Lord Mortimer becomes available, he will explain the situation.
Thank you for your answers, Sir Holm. But I beg your pardon. I get the impression I know you. Have we met? Except in my dreams, of course.
Not that I remember, young man. Perhaps you're mistaking me for another member of the Chamber of Lords. And what with the wig and the powder, it wouldn't be the first time.
No, you were definitely the one I saw threatening my mother.
I thought... Never mind. It'll come back to me. Would you allow me one last question, sir? I don't want to take up all your time.
Please, go ahead. What do you want to know?
What did mother come here for? What is the link between Hillsboroughs and my mother? Let's find out what she came here for.
Do you know the reason for my mother's presence here?
I haven't the slightest idea, no. She was invited by Lord Mortimer.
But you don't know why?
Not really. I was given to understand that your mother was looking for something.
And do you know how long my mother and Lord Mortimer have known each other?
Several years, I believe. They seemed to know each other for quite a while. But it was the first time that Lord Mortimer had invited her to join us here.
Good. And finally, would it be possible for me to speak with Lord Mortimer this evening?
I'm terribly sorry. No, he really is quite unavailable. But please rest assured that everyone is doing their best to find your mother.
All the same, it's not the Chateau de Versailles. It can't be that difficult to find her.
Worry not, my son. I am persuaded that we shall find the famous Sarah de Richet. No doubt with new adventures to share, huh?
No!
Elizabeth! I should have insisted that you rest in your room.
Do you want me to call someone?
Let me handle this. I'm used to this kind of thing. Miss, can you hear me?
Leave me.
Got no choices.
Stand back, please, so she can breathe.
Elizabeth is accustomed to this kind of thing.
It looks like it's just a dizzy spell. Can you tell me something about her? Who is this young lady?
Elizabeth Adams. She's come to the island for a course of treatment, to rest.
For a course of treatment?
That's right. Sea air can do wonders. Are you all right, Elizabeth? Do you feel any better?
When did she arrive?
4 days ago.
Okay. My mother had already gone missing.
Are you all right, Elizabeth? You gave us quite a fright.
Take it easy, miss.
Let me... I just need to get back to my room.
Of course, my dear. Go ahead.
You saw it, didn't you?
Pardon me?
I segni della bestia.
The sign of the beast. He's referring to the tattoo on her hand. Yes, Your Eminence, I saw it. I don't know what the young woman has been through, but she is marked for life.
It is the least one can say. You know the meaning, don't you?
Protection against the evil one.
It is a rare practice reserved for cases of possession, Louis. I have seen it during exorcism.
Gentlemen, it's getting late. It is time for everyone to go to bed. It has been a long day.
Alrighty guys, I'm gonna wrap it up here. This is the Council. Really intriguing thus far. I think we made the right choices. We missed one of the observation things, honestly. Kind of caught me off guard, and I only saw one little bright thing. I missed the other one, where the hell it was at. But so far, pretty cool. If you guys want to see a bit more of this, do let me know. Otherwise, I'm gonna wrap it up here. But this is the Council. I hope I've given you a really good idea what it's about so far. There's a lot of options. It's really, really cool how, just based on your skills and traits, there's a lot of things you could kind of go for, you could actually miss. So definitely really cool thus far for replay value at the very least. I will catch you next time.